Do you want to unlock the potential of your recording sessions and make the best music you can? Well, you got to know how to lead the musicians that you have there. Today on the Nashville Way, we're going to teach you just how to do that. Hey, I'm Stewart Wyatt.
And I'm Jason Wyatt.
And this is the Nashville Way. Let's say you're a new artist and you're stepping into the studio for the first time. There's a lot of things that you need to understand, and if you don't, you might come across, dare I say, a bit of a jerk.
That's true, yeah. A lot of times artists don't know how to act when they get into a studio. They're so excited to record. And actually, sometimes they either can act like a jerk or they can act like a beat little puppy. They're in the corner, They don't know what to do.
So, Jason, let's say I'm a new artist. I've come to you. I want to record. What are some of the things I need to know about? How do I communicate with the people that are going to be playing on my tracks?
Number one, if you're working with a producer, you need to connect with the producer. Because like having a relationship with a great producer allows you to communicate to them. And a lot of times they're going to communicate to the players and they're going to be directing the session, right? So number one, know your producer and know what your role is when you get into the studio. Let's say that some producers will say, listen, like when I work with an artist, I've done a lot of pre-production with them. We work through songs and we know we're already going, we have a direction, right? And then I tell them very specifically, I go, in the session, if you want something to be done, just come over to me and just go, hey man, what do you think if we do this? That allows us to come together and me to get on the same path in the same direction, and then in those cases, most times, will communicate to the players, right? Not always though, sometimes, and this happens all the time, if I know what the artist wants, and this is very powerful for the artist and for the players, I'll hit the talk back button, right? Which is the button that allows us to talk to the players. I'll hit it and I'll go, hey, so-and-so, whoever the artist is, tell the players what you're wanting. And then I go, tell them what you want. Now the players know that I'm wanting them to listen to the artist. So I would say, to sum that up, it's the relationship between the producer, which is really helpful. Now that changes if you got a producer that's not a producer, is an engineer, not a producer, and now the artist has to come in and start taking command. Sure. So why don't we go there for a second? Okay. Because that changes the communication style. Let's say that you come to me or you come to a producer, because I'm not really that kind of producer. So you come to a producer though, and this producer is more of an engineer and doesn't really know what to do because they're unseasoned and they're really not maybe in their sweet spot, or they're just learning, okay? Okay. You come to a producer and the producer sits in the corner and doesn't say a whole lot. Okay. You as an artist now have to go, well, I've got to do something here, or else this music is going to end up being nothing that I wanted. Right. And not only that, like great players, like in Nashville, we've got session players, right? Listen to this, y'all listen to this. They want enough direction to know where to go, but enough freedom to be themselves and create. And that is the perfect balance of being in the studio with great session players. There are times when I first started, and this will speak to what you should do as an artist if you're trying to speak. Okay, when you're speaking to the players and the producer is not speaking because maybe they are just not comfortable, you have to be able to give the players a direction and go, hey guys, we're going toward this direction, but I'd love to hear what you're going to do. I'd love to hear what you would do in this case. Right. Okay. I don't really. That's a little too far on the rocks. I'm just using an example. If we're doing a pop song, that's a little too rocky. I want more kind of, Maroon 5 pop, let's just say. Well, now you're giving them direction to have a visual or some reference of what you're looking for. Okay. So it's the balance. Give them direction, let them be free. Yeah. So is there a particular language? Let's say you're that artist who's coming in and you're needing to communicate everything. You don't have that producer to do it for you, or they're just not being real producery. Is there a way that you can learn kind of the language and be able to communicate that effectively and not just tell people random stuff? Or like you were saying, give them the freedom that they need while also giving them enough direction to not, make something you don't want to make? Yes. How do you navigate that? Oh safely? Man, that's a big question, because if you don't know the language, you've got to learn it. Right. So we always talk about pre-production and preparation as being one of, or if not the most important thing you can do before you get in the studio. So now, like in this town and most towns, there are charts Now in Nashville, we use the Nashville charts a lot. There's staff, music, there's all different kinds. But whatever it is, you need to know that language.
Okay.
Because that is the language that they're talking when they're playing and they're looking at. Whatever guide that they have, you need to know that language.
Okay.
And like Nashville charts definitely are a Nashville staple. It's a communication style. If you're trying to communicate, you better know that. You better know that communication style.
Okay.
So know the Nashville. In this case, let's say you need to know the Nashville charts, and you also need to know how to speak to the engineer, because the engineer is also moving, mic pre's and gains and all of these words that you might not know, but they're doing all of that as well. So now you've got to be able to communicate to them as well. Okay. And we can go in another episode. We'll go deeper on this, but these are the things that, as an artist and a producer, you're balancing all at one time. Like, I'm speaking to the engineer.
Okay.
I'm speaking to the player, I'm speaking to the producer, and I'm trying to get what I want. So anytime you can reference things, music styles, phrasings, or sing it to them, dude, that right there, give them a picture of what you want, or another example.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of terminology I'll hear tossed around. Stuff like, whether it's a live band or it's in the studio, you'll hear people say stuff like, BPM, or they'll say pushed, or let's pull that, or let's swing this beat, or and I think those could be things that if you don't know how to communicate that, what you're actually trying to get for them, you're probably going to get frustrated, and you're going to say something, or you're just going to be like, no, you're doing it wrong, instead of telling them exactly what you mean. Could you, like, let's just say if it's pushing the beat, like, and you want to push the beat, you want this to be a little more
up tempo?
Yeah, what would you say, like, if you're trying to describe people, hey, the BPM is staying the same, the beats per minute is the same, but we're trying to be a little swing, or we're trying, like, what is that going to translate?
Again, one of the best things is to give them a reference. That'll probably do the best communication. But if they're sitting in the back of the beat, they're laying back. Or I say, would you lean forward? Which means they're going to be pushing a little bit consistently.
On top of that beat?
Yeah, if the beat's here and this is the front and this is the back, they're going to be landing on this side of the beat.
Okay.
And I think overall, and we need to do this, we'll give you guys a list of words using the studio. We'll have that available for you guys. So you can go like, we're going to have these words, and these are the general words we use in the studio. So let's give those. We'll have those for you guys. But really, it's being around it.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to come into, if you've never done it, into a new environment. So I would say, y'all listen, research. Like, go to a studio, ask to sit in the back of a studio and just be there. Don't ask to do anything on somebody else's session.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube. Or just watch, like, listen to what happens. Start to be in that environment. And at the end of the day, getting your workflow, like how Stewart likes to record, is the most important.
Yeah.
If I'm working with Alicia, your wife, then she's got a way to record, and I want to help her to find her way.
Right.
Everybody has to find their workflow, and that's what you're really trying to get to. And a producer, hopefully if you have a producer, they're going to walk you through that. So there's some general information that would help you, yeah?
I think that there's something to that. Is, as an artist, it can be tempting that you feel like you got to be an expert in everything, and when you aren't, you feel like you want to hide it instead of expose what you don't know, so that you can grow and you can learn. And you do need to know a little bit about each thing, but you don't need to be an expert. You need to know how to lean into somebody else and get their help and get their guidance so that you can get what you want. But don't feel like you got to be the pro in every single thing.
That's really, really good. Yeah, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And honest. So.
Yeah.
All right, take these tips, start to use them, and let us know if you have other questions or you have more information you want that we can dive deep into. We'd love to help you with that.
See you next time.